All right, listeners. So today we're doing a deep dive on someone named Shanker Singh.
Okay.
And all we have is this document that looks like his resume.
Hmm.
Um, but wow, it's pretty extensive.
Yeah, it looks like he's been involved in a lot in Nepal.
Yeah, a lot in government business and international development.
It seems like all those are really intertwined in his career.
Yeah, for sure. And that makes
Yeah.
sense given how much Nepal's been changing.
Exactly.
So let's start with education.
Okay.
Degrees in commerce and business administration.
Pretty standard.
Yeah, you'd think so. But then you see one of those degrees is from
Oh, from where?
the Delhi School of Economics.
Oh, wow. No, that's not your average business school.
Not at all.
The Delhi School of Economics is really prestigious.
Yeah.
Like known for being very academically rigorous.
Mm-hmm.
So graduating from there probably gave him a really strong foundation in economics.
Yeah.
And, those analytical skills you don't always find in the business world.
Interesting.
And maybe even some connections to a powerful network
Oh, yeah.
of economists and policymakers.
I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how that background shaped his later career.
Okay. And then you look at the trainings and workshops he's attended, and it's like,
It's a lot.
it's mind-boggling.
Yeah.
Seminar on securities markets in the U.S.,
Yeah.
a CEREC meeting on power development, an ILO workshop on minimum wages in Nepal,
Mm-hmm.
even a conference on trade and development in Vietnam.
Wow.
I'm sensing a theme here.
Yeah, definitely. Those aren't just random workshops you went to.
Right.
They seem strategically chosen,
Yeah.
to address key challenges in Nepal's development.
Interesting.
Remember, this is a country that's been transitioning from a mostly agricultural economy
Right.
to one that's more diversified.
Mm.
So that seminar on securities markets in the U.S.,
Yeah.
that probably came at a time when Nepal was looking to attract foreign investment
Makes sense.
and needed to understand how global financial markets worked.
Wow. It's like he's been involved in each step of Nepal's economic evolution.
It seems that way.
Okay, so let's move on to his work experience.
Okay.
We should probably start with his most recent role,
Right.
CEO of the Nepal Stock Exchange,
Oh, wow.
from 2008 to 2013.
Okay.
Now, that's a pretty high-profile position.
Absolutely.
A stock exchange is vital to a modern economy.
Definitely.
It's where companies can raise capital for growth,
Right.
and it gives investors a way to participate in that growth.
Exactly.
Leading a stock exchange, especially in a country like Nepal,
Mm-hmm.
still developing its financial markets.
Yeah.
It's a big responsibility.
Huge responsibility.
So I noticed that while he was at the Nepal Stock Exchange, he was involved in its automation
Okay.
and the establishment of a CDS and clearing and settlement company.
Can you break that down?
Yeah, it sounds pretty technical.
So automating a stock exchange brings huge efficiency gains,
Okay,
makes trading faster, more transparent.
got it.
It's a sign of modernization for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And a CDS or central depository system allows for electronic tracking and transfer of shares, which again increases efficiency and security.
So everything's electronic now.
Yeah, then you have the clearing and settlement company
Okay.
that makes sure trades are settled quickly and smoothly.
So it minimizes risks.
Yeah, minimizes risk in the market.
So under Shanker Singh's leadership,
Yeah,
it seems like the Nepal Stock Exchange took some significant steps
looks like it.
towards becoming a more sophisticated and stable financial market.
That's what it seems like from this.
Okay, so before the stock exchange, he was the project director for the Nepal Chamber of Commerce,
Interesting.
working on investment projects.
Okay.
Seems like a natural progression, building on his experience with attracting investment.
Yeah, so chambers of commerce are basically business advocacy groups.
Okay.
They promote trade and investment.
So in this role, he would have been on the front lines trying to attract investors to Nepal,
Exactly.
probably focusing on sectors with high growth potential.
Yeah, and that position probably required a deep understanding of the Nepali market
I imagine so,
and strong negotiation skills.
for sure. Okay, next up, we have his time as CEO of the National Business Initiative.
Interesting.
This is where things get interesting,
How so?
because this organization is described as a peace-building organization.
Oh, wow.
That's not something you typically see on a resume,
Not usually, no.
especially for someone with a strong economics and finance background.
Yeah, it really speaks to the complex realities of development work.
Yeah.
Especially in a country like Nepal,
Right.
which has experienced periods of conflict and political instability. The fact that someone like Shanker Singh,
Yeah.
with his business acumen, chose to lead a peace-building organization
Yeah.
suggests a deep understanding of how intertwined economic development and social stability are.
That's a good point.
You can't have one without the other.
It's definitely a testament to his versatility
For sure.
and his commitment to Nepal's well-being.
Absolutely. And then we see his role as senior program manager
Okay.
for a USAID and FNCCI joint project focused on agro-enterprise.
This one seems like a natural fit.
It's definitely given his economics and business background.
Agriculture is still a major part of Nepal's economy.
Right.
So helping to develop and support agro-enterprises
Yeah.
would be crucial for economic growth and improving livelihoods.
Especially in rural areas.
Exactly.
So just from looking at his work experience, we see a clear pattern.
What's that?
Deep expertise in economics and finance, a passion for promoting investment and development,
Yeah.
and a commitment to peace and stability in Nepal.
It's almost like he's had a hand in shaping the country's trajectory.
It's quite remarkable.
He's not just an academic economist.
Right.
He's actively involved in the real world,
Yeah.
trying to make a tangible difference.
And that leads us to the next fascinating part of his resume,
Which is,
his publications.
oh yeah, his
His publication list is pretty impressive.
It's extensive.
Yeah, some of these titles are just too good not to mention.
Like what?
Sark, from DAG City to Kathmandu.
Okay.
Indo-Nepal trade. Smuggling on the rise.
And my personal favorite, Nepal, My Nepal.
Oh, yeah, those are good.
Yeah,
It's clear he's not just publishing dry academic papers.
right.
These titles suggest someone engaging with a broader audience,
Yeah.
someone who can make complex economic issues accessible
Mm-hmm.
and maybe even a little entertaining.
Nepal, My Nepal. Now, is that a travelogue or a passionate economic treatise?
I'm curious, too.
I am genuinely curious.
It's actually a collection of essays and articles spanning his career.
Oh, wow.
It covers a range of topics, from economic policy to social issues.
So everything.
Yeah, and even personal reflections on Nepal's development journey.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Makes sense given his multifaceted career.
Definitely.
Okay, so he's clearly a thought leader,
Yeah.
but he's not just sitting in an ivory tower writing papers.
Right.
He's also given a ton of presentations.
A lot of presentations.
Yeah, to all sorts of audiences.
Yeah.
From potential investors to
Yeah.
government officials to international organizations.
That highlights another crucial skill.
Oh, yeah.
In the world of economics and development,
What's that?
communication,
Ah, yeah.
you need to be able to explain complex ideas to different audiences.
Right, because you could be talking to diplomats one day
Exactly.
and then business executives the next.
And you got to tailor your message
Yeah.
to each of those groups.
It seems like Shanker Singh has mastered that.
He seems to have. Yeah.
That's a skill I wish I had.
That's a good one.
Okay, before we wrap up, there's this paragraph at the end of this document
Okay.
that I found really insightful.
What does it say?
He writes, throughout these two sets of experiences, I have found myself confronted with some questions. How can we change the world? How can we make an impact for better? How can we influence the future? And the question I want to focus on here is that how do we make sense of all this?
Wow. That's pretty deep.
Yeah.
It suggests that for him, it's not just about climbing the ladder of success.
Right.
He's genuinely grappling with the bigger questions.
Yeah, like the so what of his work.
Exactly. He's thinking about the ethical implications of his expertise
That's interesting.
and how it can be used for positive change.
Not just for his own career advancement.
Right, but for the betterment of Nepal as a whole.
It really makes you wonder what drives him.
Yeah, what kind of impact did he want to leave on the world?
Well, if we look back at his career,
Mm-hmm.
it seems like he was always at the forefront of Nepal's economic development,
Yeah.
constantly adapting his skills and knowledge to meet the country's evolving needs.
And it wasn't just about implementing policies.
Right.
It was about understanding the deeper social and political context
Yeah.
and how economics played a role in building a more stable and prosperous Nepal.
So to recap, we have Shanker Singh,
Okay.
a highly accomplished individual with a deep understanding of economics, business and development,
Mm-hmm.
and a clear passion for his country, Nepal.
He's a prime example of how an individual can contribute to national development.
Yeah.
And his story, as we've seen through this document, is as fascinating as it is inspiring.
So what does this all mean for Shanker Singh today? Where might he be now, and what kind of impact might he be having?
That's the million-dollar question.
Right?
This document doesn't give us any clues about his current endeavors.
True.
But I'd imagine someone with his expertise, experience, and drive is still deeply engaged in shaping Nepal's future in some way.
Maybe he's advising the government on economic policy,
Could be.
or mentoring a new generation of business leaders.
Possibly.
Or perhaps he's finally found the time to write that definitive history of Nepal's economic transformation.
Oh, I'd love to read that.
Me too. But even without knowing the specifics of his current path,
Yeah.
we can safely say that Shanker Singh's career offers a powerful lesson for all of us.
What's that?
It shows that a deep understanding of economics, combined with practical experience and a commitment to something larger than yourself, can be a force for positive change in the world.
Well said.
And who knows, maybe someday we'll have the chance to interview Shanker Singh himself
That would be amazing.
and dive even deeper into his incredible story.
I'd love to hear about the challenges he faced,
Yeah.
the lessons he learned, and what he sees as the biggest opportunities for Nepal's future.
Okay, listener, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the life and career of Shanker Singh.
Hope you found it as fascinating as we did.
We hope you learned something new and maybe even feel a little inspired.
And if you're interested in learning more about Nepal's economic journey, there are plenty of resources available.
Yeah.
You could start by looking into some of Shanker Singh's publications.
Good idea.
They're a great window into the country's development over the past few decades.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep making a difference.
Well said.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
amazing to think about how much one person can accomplish
It really is.
and the ripple effects they can create. It makes you realize that we all have the potential to make a difference,
Definitely.
no matter how big or small.
Shanker Singh's story is a great reminder that
Yeah.
it's not just about technical expertise.
Right.
It's about using that expertise in a way that benefits others.
Well said. So on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive.
That's good.
Thanks for joining us, listener. We hope you learned something new.
And maybe even feel a little inspired.
If you're interested in learning more about Nepal's economic journey,
Yeah.
there are tons of resources available.
You could start by looking into some of Shanker Singh's publications.
That's a great idea.
They're a great window into the country's development over the past few decades.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep making a difference.
Take care.